Hello, my name is Tiffany Thomas with the Oracle Applications User Group. Welcome everyone to OAUG's Collaborate 18 EPM Hyperion Education Preview. OAUG will host over 500 sessions on topics pertinent to the applications of today and tomorrow, such as this one at Collaborate on April 22nd through the 26th at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada. Before we get started, I would like to go over a couple housekeeping items. You will be on mute throughout the presentation. If you would like to ask a question, please type it into the question box in your control panel at any time. Once the presentation has concluded, I will read the questions back so the presenter can respond. We are recording this session, and it will be available on the OAUG website later today. I would like to introduce your presenter, Chuck Persky, Vice President of Performance Architects, board member of the EPM Hyperion SIG, and one of the EPM track leads. Take it away, Chuck.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And again, welcome to EPM Hyperion Education Preview for Collaborate 18. Again, my name is Chuck Persky, and as mentioned, I chair the board for the OAUG EPM Hyperion SIG Special Interest Group, and I was also part of the track selection committee for Collaborate 18. I've been in the space about 20 years in architecting, designing, and implementing solutions in EPM and Hyperion space. And what our goal is today is basically to share with you some of the educational offerings that are available at Collaborate 18 in the EPM and Hyperion space. So to start, before I get into Collaborate 18, I just want to make everyone aware of the Hyperion SIG, or the EPM Hyperion SIG, and what it is. Basically, it's a user group within the OAUG user group. It's called a Special Interest Group, or SIG, and basically the mission is to inform and educate SIG members on all the functionality, both current and future, of things relating to EPM and Hyperion, and provide a forum for basically you and your peers to share their experiences and knowledge. Membership to this is free, and if you go to the website, which you can see there, hyperion.communities.oaug.org, you can sign up. And our venues include, obviously, the Collaborate Conference. We also almost always do a session at Oracle Open World Conference, and we're constantly posting webcasts, executing webcasts, posting publications, a lot of online content, and we've done some virtual conferences as well. So for today, we're just going to briefly talk about Collaborate 18, sort of give you Collaborate 18 at a glance, and then we're going to get into some of the details of the EPM and Hyperion education track. We're going to talk about the tracks and what they're calling smart tracks or sub-tracks, something new called Exploration Series and Turbo-Talks, and then the SIG meeting, the Connect reception, and then take questions and answers if there are any. So to get started, as you probably already know, Collaborate 18 is at the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas. It's running April 22nd to April 26th. That's Sunday through Thursday. And generally speaking, as with most Collaborate conferences, these are the session tracks. And as you can see, nothing surprising there, but what you might see is that we really have two specific tracks that relate to EPM and Hyperion. So in the past, it was just sort of one track. Years ago, it was called Hyperion, and then, of course, with the evolving of products and Oracle moving away from the Hyperion label, it took on the name EPM, and now you can see there's two very specific tracks, one for On-Prem Hyperion and one for Cloud EPM Hyperion. You can also see beneath that another track for Big Data, BI, and Analytics. Business Analytics, of course, is related to the EPM track, and there's a whole separate track for things in that realm. So diving into this concept a little bit more, in 2016 and 2017, there was a lot of dialogue surrounding the nature of the EPM topics that were at the Collaborate conferences. There was a lot of controversy over the amount of cloud content versus the amount of on-premise content. And what was recognized is that even though cloud is obviously being pushed by Oracle and is sort of a trend in the marketplace today, that not every customer is really ready for the cloud. So as a result, Collaborate 18 is really offering two distinct tracks, as we just said, one for EPM and one for on-prem EPM Hyperion and one for Cloud EPM Hyperion. So essentially, OAG definitely heard the dialogue there and has made that change and is providing these very two separate tracks. So if we dive into the on-premise EPM Hyperion track, these are what's called sub-tracks or smart tracks. And basically, these are things that if you are in this space, you should recognize: reporting and analysis, which gives sessions in regard to FR, Report Studio, and the use of Smart View; financial close and consolidation, which gives insight into the on-premise HFM product, FCM, disclosure management, and the tax provisioning; planning and budgeting, which of course covers Hyperion planning, all the past modules of Hyperion planning, and then of course HSF, Hyperion Strategic Finance. There's a separate smart track on profitability and cost management, HPCM, and then data management and integration. So these are the on-premise data integration tools, such as DRM, data management, the FDMEE product, and data relationship governance. And then, of course, getting into the S-Base space, which does overlap a bit with the BI track, but the idea is there is content in this track for native S-Base databases. And now if we get into the cloud space, very similar smart tracks, planning, budgeting, and forecasting. So this is going to focus on PBCS and ePBCS, covering the frameworks that are in ePBCS. There's a lot of content on these frameworks, which consists of financials, strategic modeling, workforce planning, capital planning, and project planning. And then, of course, getting into the financial close arena, we're talking about FCCS, Financial Consolidation and Close Cloud Service, the Account Reconciliation Cloud Service, and the Tax Reporting Cloud Service. And on the reporting side, in addition to what you saw in the on-premise smart track of financial reporting, FR, and getting into the details of Smart View for Office, there's also a cloud product called EPRCS, Enterprise Performance Reporting Cloud Service, which basically puts a process around narrative reporting. It is a neat product if you haven't seen a demo. So there are several sessions on that offering. When you talk about profitability and cost management in on-prem, it's HPCM. Now we have an acronym here, PCMCS, Profitability and Cost Management Cloud Service, and there are sessions available on that. And of course, getting into Cloud S-Base, which for a while was called S-Base Cloud Service, but now it's, as many of you know, it's called OAC, Oracle Analytics Cloud. And again, there's some overlap here with the business intelligence track. I believe there is OAC sessions in there as well. All right, so for those of you who are looking for a little bit more cloud content, there are some items that really don't fit neatly into the classifications that were provided for the tracks and the smart tracks, but they are very relevant to participants in the conference. So there are several sessions surrounding data integration in the cloud world. This is a very hot topic, and it's a topic that a lot of people have a lot of questions about. So there are sessions specific to data integration using cloud EPM products. And there's sessions about the journey to the cloud. So if you're on-prem or really not using any EPM products currently from Oracle, how do you get to the cloud? How do you switch from on-prem, or how do you go to a cloud? And there's several sessions on sort of architecting that journey. And then understanding cloud-based offerings. There's sessions on understanding all these different products, what their strengths are, where they overlap, and how best to use them with use cases and examples. Something else this year that's new is something called the EPM Exploration Series. And what these are sessions that are specifically dive a little deeper into a certain content area. And this year's Exploration Series is specific around the planning space. And basically it provides detail about the frameworks. So we talked about ePBCS, Enterprise Planning and Budgeting Cloud. These Exploration Series dive into each one of these. So there are 3 of them. You can see the first one is, they're all on April 25th, and they're sort of right in a row, if you can see the times there. So the first one focuses on the financials and so it gives a very deep understanding of how and when and use cases of how to configure the financials framework in EPBCS. And then capital and projects are done together, the next exploration series, and again, that goes into the individual frameworks for capital and the individual framework for projects, which are sort of similar, and you can see how they've been lumped together for that reason. And then the last one is specific to workforce planning. That is probably one of the hotter topics in EPBCS, and understanding what the workforce planning framework does, how it works, what it creates, what your configuration options are. In this session, we'll cover that content as well. Okay, so in addition to the standard presentations, and then in addition to the exploration series, there's also a series of brief sessions called Turbo-Talks. So Turbo-Talks are kind of the opposite of the exploration series, where the exploration series goes very deep into a topic and gets into some of the nitty-gritty and some of the bits and bytes. Turbo-Talks really do the opposite. It's really overview. And Turbo-Talks are not an hour long, they're only 30-minute overview, but it gives you a sense for these topics. And again, these are all offered on the same day. This is on Tuesday, April 24th, and they start at 4 p.m. and go till 6:45. So you can see the first one, your path to the EPM cloud. That is a session given by Eric Helmer. For those of you who know Eric, he's a longtime expert in the field, an Oracle ACE director, and he has a lot of insight on your journey to the cloud, basically. Then we have a Turbo Talk on integration tools. Again, there's some individual sessions on this topic, but this is specific just to give you a high-level overview of some of the concepts and tools available to do integration in the EPM cloud. And then the third one is PBCS and EPBCS, and using a concept called Smart Push and Data Maps. This is a session that's going to be delivered by me, actually, and the idea is that it's a way to maybe forego aggregations and provide efficiencies into your implementations. And then the fourth one is it's given by Oracle. It talks about emerging technologies in the EPM cloud. So again, 4 separate Turbo Talks provided right in a row from 4 o'clock to 6:45. High-level overview, very useful to get conceptual understanding of a certain topic. Okay, so that was an overview of some of the sessions and that type of thing. What else is going on at Collaborate as far as EPM? A big thing is the SIG meeting. So it's listed as a session. It's 3 o'clock on April 22nd, which is that Sunday. And I always try to get this thing scheduled later in the day on Sunday so people have time to get there. But it is 3 o'clock. And basically, the SIG meeting is a way, it's a place where peers can get together, talk about everything that's EPM and Hyperion related. You saw the mission statement on the opening slide. But this year's SIG meeting is going to feature a case study. It's also going to have an open discussion section, which is something we haven't done in a while. We're going to allocate some time just to have sort of an open mic where people can ask questions on various topics, and we'll have a panel of people that will start the discussion, but everyone in the room can contribute, and it should be a very good session. And of course, we always try to have an Oracle roadmap there. There's larger Oracle roadmap sessions. This is more of highlighting some key items, and it'll also give you some insight into what sessions at Collaborate that Oracle is presenting as well. Urge you all to go to that. And then, of course, every year we have something called the Hyperion Connect reception. We haven't renamed that to the EPM Hyperion Connect reception because it just doesn't have a flow like it does when you say Hyperion Connect reception. But I don't know how many more years we can call it that. But this is Tuesday night. It's kind of a great thing this year because it's being held at the Mandalay Bay Shark Reef. I haven't personally been, but there is like an aquarium in Mandalay Bay. It's like a paid thing you can go into as part of the hotel. So that is the location of where the reception will be. The idea here is just a very social gathering with hors d'oeuvres and drinks. The idea is to network with your EPM and Hyperion peers, share ideas. Folks from Oracle may be there. Certainly some of the developers will be there. And again, it's in the Shark Reef attraction. Have some music. It should be a great event because of the content and also because of the location. So again, if you are going to collaborate and you are into the EPM space, this is a great event for a ton of reasons. Okay, so that highlights most of the events and the main session smart tracks. As far as resources for the conference, so obviously if you're at all interested, you've probably already been to the Collaborate webpage. There's a phone application available that's easily downloadable. In both of these things, whether it's the webpage or the phone application, it has some great concepts that allows you to get in ahead and understand what is available. It has a daily agenda at a glance and give you some of the highlights of some of the large events like the opening and closing and the speakers. It also has a session search tool, which is really good. So you can go in, look specifically for keywords and titles, companies, speakers, and basically filter on anything you need to filter to assess different sessions, see when they are, and then really make a schedule. And then again, the app has the ability to make your own schedule, and you can sort it by the smart track. You can say, let me see everything specifically to EPM or Hyperion. And obviously, you can add these to your schedule. Over on the right is just a picture of some of the filter capability. So again, one of the things you can pick by is track. It is really a great app to really find the content that fits you and fits you best. So that is basically the presentation. Hopefully this provided a lot of information and some clarity in what's available. If I did not answer any of your questions, I think we're gonna take some questions now. But also you can contact me directly at my email address shown. If I don't know the answer to the question, I can certainly forward it to the Education Committee at OAUG, and they would be able to answer your questions. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Tiffany.
Yes, thank you so much, Chuck. If you have any questions, please type them into the question box. And while we're waiting on questions to come through, Chuck, I'd like to just reiterate that, again, we hope to see you all in Las Vegas, Nevada on April 22nd through the 26th. As Chuck has shown us, Collaborate, it provides an awesome opportunity to network and also to gain valuable information on the most relevant topics to you and your organization. I've included some links to visit our Oracle EPM Hyperion website if you want more information in regards to all the offerings that Chuck mentioned in one place. That website is collaborate.oaug.org/education/EPM Hyperion. Also, I've included a link if you want more information on various topics that Collaborate has to offer. We have a one-stop shop for that as well. That link is collaborate.oaug.org/education. We don't have any questions that have come in, Chuck, but do you have any last-minute things that you would like to say before we conclude?
Just I hope to see everyone at Collaborate. I think it's going to be a great year, and I think we really hit the nail on the head with some of these sessions this year, both on-prem and with the cloud.
Thank you so much. This concludes another great e-learning session, which is an OAUG member benefit. Everyone have an awesome Friday. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.